Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels. On this lovely day, really feels now like spring has sprung. This week we're going to be planting potatoes in the veg plot and we're going to be pricking out tomato seedlings. You're going to help, aren't you? I've come into the vegetable garden now because we're going to plant some first early potatoes. These are the ones that mature really quickly, only take about 13 weeks from planting to harvesting. Lots of different varieties available, and we planted one last week in a pot so we could grow that on a patio. And these are lovely chittered potatoes, and these are going to go in the garden. The time to do it is when the soil starts to warm up. So if you think it's very cold and wet where you are, wait another week. Some places you probably already started to put them in, but I normally do it around about the end of March and into early April. So what I've done with this ground, the ground has been forked over lightly, it's had a little bit of compost worked in. Potatoes like organic matter, and then it's just simply a case of planting them. And new potatoes like this don't need to be too close. I normally space them about a foot apart, 30 centimetres, that's all they need in the ground, because they don't make huge plants. And I normally just plant them with a trowel about 4 inches deep. Now sometimes people get a problem called scab, which is where the skin of the potato literally goes all scabby, and it's still perfectly okay to eat, but they just don't look very good. And that's usually if you've got an alkaline soil, got too much lime in the soil. So never put lime on where you're going to grow your potatoes. And if you're worried about it, an old trick that gardeners used to do, and it's really simple, is just to use some grass cuttings, fresh grass mowings. When you've cut the lawn, just save a little bit, and all you're going to do basically is to dig your hole, put a few grass clippings in the bottom. We can then sit our potato on it and then put the soil back in. And that basically helps to give off a little bit of acid as they break down, but also grass clippings, when they start to decompose, warm up slightly, so it's going to create lovely warm conditions for the potato to grow and hopefully combat scab. So I'm going to space them along this row, plant them, and then in a few weeks time we'll have lovely potatoes that are pushing through the soil, and then I'll show you how to earth them up so we can get maximum tubers and enjoy them in 13 weeks time. Well, a few weeks ago we sowed some tomato seeds in the greenhouse, put them in the propagator, and they've germinated nicely. Now we've got some nice strong seedlings coming up there. This is Shirley, which is one of the hybrids, and then we've got this one here, which is a variety from Medwin Seeds in North Wales in Anglesey. And this is an ideal time to prick them out to grow them on, because if you don't, what happens is tomato seedlings very quickly get leggy. So we're going to transplant them and grow them on, and then we'll have another month's time, we'll have plants that will be ready to put out in the polytunnel. I'm going to do them in these trays. This is called a skelly tray, and this is a fairly recent invention. It's recycled plastic, and it's not single-use plastic. This can be used time and time again, and it houses these fibre pots that just sit in there, a bit like a cup holder really. So you just keep using this and pop new ones in there. And the great thing is, when we plant them out, we don't take them out, these pots, we just bury that in the garden and it decomposes. So I'm going to fill that ooze with compost. The great thing about these is that you can literally just put the compost in and brush it over the top, and any surplus literally falls through the gaps in the middle. Really easy to fill them. I won't do them all. Never will. Let's just do it. So just the compost in there, and this is just a good general potting compost. They're nice and fibrous there. So fill that like so, and then just give that a tap to settle it a little bit. And then the seedlings, it's important that we handle them carefully, and we don't bruise the stem. So always handle them by the seed leaf, never the stem. If we hold the stem like that, it bruises really easily, and then chances are they'll rot off, whereas they don't seem to be damaged by the leaf. So what I need to do is very carefully, using a dibber, loosen the compost around and then just tease that out, and we can see there it's got a nice root system on there. And then I'm going to make a hole in my pot, and these are, I think, an 8 or 9 centimetre diameter, so that's plenty big enough. And I'm going to lower it down so it's a little bit deeper than it is in this pot. So that is going to be pushed down to there, and it's as simple as that. So we're going to plant them deep, and that again helps to keep them nice and compact. Just fill the compost in, lightly firm it in. So it really is as simple as that. And if you can do them at this stage before they get too big and leggy, they're much easier to handle. They establish so much faster and will grow away. So it's literally a case of that. They will have a label in, so I know exactly what variety they are. And then the last thing, of course, is they're going to be given a drink of water just to settle them in, so that the roots are in contact with water. They need to be kept then in a light, frost-free place. So a sunny windowsill is ideal. My greenhouse, I keep the frost off, but they've got to be kept frost-free, because a little bit of frost on those, at this stage you will lose them. So yeah, get cracking and get them pricked out. Well, thank you for watching Pots and Trowels. Hope you've enjoyed it, and please tell all your friends about it, get them to like it and share it. And of course, as well as being on Facebook, you can also watch it on YouTube. And if you've got any questions of any type, it can be fruit, flowers, vegetables, houseplants, lawns, please drop us a message on Facebook and we'll do our very best to answer you, and we'll try and feature some of them in future programmes. As from next week, we've got some exciting news, because Pots and Trowels is going to be with you twice in 1 week, and we're going to do 2 every week right the way through now until the end of June. So double amount of hints and tips and things you can be doing in your garden. So we'll see you then. Keep safe. Bye.